You've definitely heard the phrase, what goes around comes around. But what if I told you that's just the tip of the iceberg? The real theory of karma is so much deeper, and it might just hold the key to one of the most frustrating questions we all ask. Today, we're going to try and decode it.
So, we have to start with the big one, the question that just drives us crazy. You see it, I see it, we've all seen it. Good, honest people who can't catch a break, while someone who's just awful seems to be living the high life. It feels fundamentally wrong, doesn't it? Like the universe's accounting system is broken. And this very question, it's the key to the whole thing.
And you know, this feeling is nothing new. This quote here is from Sudama, a childhood friend of Lord Krishna. He's looking at his old friend who's now a king, and then he looks at his own life, his own poverty, and he just can't make it make sense. It's this timeless human cry of, how is this fair? How can two people start at the same point and end up worlds apart?
This feeling, this contradiction, we can call it the karma paradox. And honestly, it's why a lot of people just throw their hands up and decide the universe must be totally random and chaotic. But according to the actual theory of karma, the system isn't flawed at all. The problem isn't the law. The problem is our perspective. And this right here is the absolute game changer. The entire issue comes down to our limited point of view. It's like we're trying to judge an entire epic movie based on a single 1-second clip. We're trying to balance the cosmic books based on this one short lifetime. But karma? Oh, it plays the long game, on a much, much grander timescale. So, how do we solve this paradox then? Well, we do it by understanding that karma isn't just one thing. It's actually a system with 3 distinct parts. The best way to think about it is like a cosmic bank account. You've got your daily transactions, a massive long-term savings account, and your scheduled payouts. First up, we have Kriyamana Karma. This is the simple stuff, the instant cause and effect. You're thirsty? So you drink a glass of water. Boom, thirst is gone. The action and the result happen right away. The account is settled on the spot. Easy. Next, we have Sanchita Karma. And folks, this is the big one. This is your total karmic balance, accumulated over all of your past lives. Every single action you've ever taken that didn't have an immediate result gets deposited into this massive unseen cosmic vault, just sitting there, waiting for the right conditions to ripen. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Picture a giant barrel of grain. Every day, with your present actions, your Kriyamana Karma, you're pouring new grain in at the top. But here's the kicker. The grain you actually use today, the stuff that sustains you, comes out of a little spout at the bottom of the barrel. That's the old stuff. That's the grain that's been in there for a long time.
And these stories show you just how long that grain can sit in there. The examples are just mind-blowing. Take King Dashratha. He commits a terrible, tragic mistake in his youth, and the karmic consequence doesn't hit him until decades later, when he's an old man, in a way that perfectly mirrors his original action. But if you think that's a long time, get this. King Drisharatha, a cruel act he did as a hunter, took 50 lifetimes to finally ripen. It waited until the conditions were absolutely perfect for the effect to match the cause.
And that little scoop of grain that comes out of the bottom of the barrel for you each day, that has a name. That's the third type, Prarabdha Karma. This is the portion of your massive Sanchita account that has become ripe and is scheduled for you to experience in this life. And this, my friends, is what we call destiny, fate, or just plain luck. So what does this Prarabdha, this destiny, actually cover? Well, it's basically the entire setup for your current life. The big-ticket items, the kind of body you're born into, your family situation, your environment, your wealth, and even the major joys and sorrows you're predestined to go through. It's essentially the script you're handed when the curtain goes up on this lifetime.
And boom, right there, we solved the paradox from the beginning. That wicked person who's living a life of luxury, they're not being rewarded for what they're doing now. Not at all. They are simply cashing in on a winning lottery ticket, their good prarabdha from actions in past lives. Meanwhile, every awful thing they're doing today is like pouring poison grain into the top of their barrel, creating a terrible destiny that's just waiting for them in the future.
Okay, wait a second. I know what you're probably thinking. If our destiny is already scripted by this Prarabdha, then what about free will? Do we actually have any control? Or are we just puppets on a string playing out a role that's already been written for us? It's a fantastic question, and the answer is the destiny and free will aren't in conflict at all. They're two different forces working together. Think of it like a game of cards. Your Prarabdha, your destiny, deals you your hand. You can't change the cards you get. But Purushartha, your free will, is how you choose to play that hand. Destiny sets the stage, but your free will determines your performance. This quote just perfectly sums up the whole relationship. All the effort and choices you made in the past, your Purushartha, literally created the destiny you're living today. And all the choices and effort you're putting in right now, in this very moment, are actively building the destiny you will face tomorrow. It's a continuous cycle, and you are always the architect of your future. So if we're constantly building our own destiny, what's the end game here? Is it just to keep racking up enough good karma points to get a better life next time? Well, according to this philosophy, the ultimate goal is way bigger. It's to transcend the entire system, to get off the karmic roller coaster completely, to escape the cycle of birth and death. This is known as moksha, or liberation.
And how on earth do you do that? Well, the path is laid out in 3 steps. First, you stop adding new, bad grain to the barrel. You do this by acting selflessly, without being attached to the results. Second, you let the grain that's already been allotted for this lifetime run out. You just accept the good and the bad that comes your way. And third, this is the final, most profound step. You burn the entire grain barrel to the ground. You annihilate the whole Sanchita account with what's called the fire of knowledge, a deep self-realization that your true self is beyond all of this.
Now, this is a super important point. The path to liberation isn't about just doing nothing. That's impossible. The goal isn't to stop acting. It's to change the motivation behind your actions. When you act without ego, without selfish attachment, the actions themselves stop creating new binding karma. They become karmically neutral.
And that brings this whole explanation full circle, right back to this moment, right back to you. This theory paints a picture of a universe with ultimate accountability, where every single choice, every thought, every intention, it all matters. It means our lives aren't just a series of random accidents, but the direct result of our own choices. Which really leaves us with one final, powerful question to think about.